Can everybody hear me, by the way? Okay. We're very blessed to have a very talented resident here at Friendship House. Her name is Arvilla. Along with her daughter, Arvilla painted this beautiful mural behind us. It's entitled On the Banks of the Wabash. So to sort of speak a little bit more about it and give you a little bit more background on it, Arvilla and her daughter will give a short little speech here for you guys. Thanks.
Great. I was going to try to do it without writing it down, but I was afraid I'd forget something, and I didn't want to forget anything. I want to say this has been a joy painting this mural, and it's been truly a labor of love. You folks were so kind and encouraging as you stopped by, and we appreciate it so much. And I got to know many of you so much better than before, and I'm trying to remember your first names. But it's coming. Many of you have had a part in this mural, a big part in this mural, with a variety of ideas and suggestions, and then not one person was critical. Sometimes when we get ready to do something on a wall, and I've done it in people's homes, and they stand right there, and you know, are you going to do this? Are you going to do that? And it inhibits our creativity, and you were very, very good about that. And I really believe Friendship House lives up to its name. You're very friendly and very helpful here. And I've watched the different ones through the times I've been here, how you help one another. And that's just a blessing. I just love being here. I really do. I think at this point in my life, this stage of my life, this is where I want to be. I don't want to move again till I die and go to heaven. you all know what moving's like.
Oh, yeah.
We don't like moving. We wanted to create a painting that you could look at and enjoy for years to come. Something that you couldn't see all at one time. And I've heard different ones of you come over, oh, there's this, oh, there's that. And I'm thinking, good, that's what we wanted. We want you to be able to see it in years to come, not all at one time, but be able to pick out something, find a new discovery. And we both of us thank God for the talent that He gave us, because if He hadn't given us this talent, we wouldn't be able to do what we do. We really thank Beverly and Diane, because when they asked us to do this, they gave us perfect freedom. They didn't say, this is what I want you to paint, this is what I want you to do. And, you know, we could have messed up their wall big time. they didn't know it. And having that freedom, we could be as creative as we wanted to be. And we appreciated that. And I want to thank my daughter, Susan, sitting over there, and her husband, Brian, because at the end of the day, we were so tired. We had no idea. It just seems like we were just very, very tired. We would have gone to bed hungry, and they just put on such delicious meals for us, and we really appreciated all the help in many other ways that they helped us to be able to do this. And we hope you enjoy this mural and the scenes of the Wabash River, and I hope it brings back many memories for you all. That was the other thing. I'd have different ones say, I remember that barn. It's not there anymore, it's gone. Fortunately, my husband took photographs of that barn many years ago when we used to come down to Indiana from Michigan to visit my daughter. And it's gone. And, well, anyway, just it's been a pleasure and it's been fun. I'll let Jerry talk now.
Well, first of all, I'd like to say that being here made me think back when my daughter went to college. And you know how they have parent weekend and you can go spend the time in the dormitory? Did any of you ever do that with any of your children or grandchildren? Yeah. And I was one of the few parents that did that, and you get to experience life on the inside of a dorm. Well, that's how I felt living here for the week that I was here when we started painting this mural. It was like I was living in a dorm, and I could come down here and get to know the residents, and I'd have to say this is a very friendly place. It has been a wonderful, wonderful experience. And I want to thank Diane and Beverly. Like Mom said, they asked us, well, first of all, I think Diane or Beverly said to my sister, do you think your mom would like to paint a mural? Because we have done some mural painting in the past, and Susie said, yeah, I think so. And Mom said, yeah, I'll do it if Jerry does it with me. So that's how it all kind of began, and they really did not give us any instruction about what they wanted. But in my mind, I'm thinking, this is Indiana, I want to have cornfields, I want to have the sun rising over the cornfields, I want to have Lafayette, West Lafayette, Purdue, the farms. I just wanted to include, and the Wabash running through the whole thing. So I took some time to make a sketch. I got up early one morning when we were visiting here in March. It was spring. It wasn't quite green spring. It was just early. Took photos for about an hour and a half, 2 hours at sunrise to just kind of get those creative juices going. Laid out my pictures according to subject, drew my sketch, brought it here and showed it to Brian, my brother-in-law, and my sister, because they know the area. I lived here in the 70s, but I didn't have a feel for where things could go. I just knew that it all needed to fit into the Wabash, not perfectly. It's not meant to be a geographically, perfectly architectural rendering of your area, but it's to give that feel of what it's like to be here. So they really helped in the placement of where things go, and you all helped in the placement of where things go. What we wanted to do is, and when I first put that river on there, we sketched it on, I did it with chalk. I had this little drawing and then I sketched it, and my mom said, how's that river going to fit? You know, is it just going to be a big band going through? It's kind of hard to visualize that when you first put the sketch up there. But it all came together, and as we were painting, we did want to include the courthouse and the fountain and the train depot, and one person came through and said, you know, it needs bridges, and I hadn't drawn them in, but I realized how important that was to you all. It needed to have bridges to get across. And like Mom said, you have had a part of this. We began it, and we had our ideas, but you have had your input. Someone wanted to see a cardinal in there, and Mom painted a cardinal, and somebody wanted wild turkeys, and so the wild turkeys ended up in there. So it really has not been just a project that Mom and I have done and brought here and given to you, but you have had a real part of it, and that's been wonderful. I did some interesting research on this. We kind of, as it developed, I thought, you know, we need to title this, and I think it should be called On the Banks of the Wabash. And I knew there was a song like that, but I really didn't know the song. And I knew, oh, there's trains in there, and I'd heard about the Wabash Cannonball, but I didn't know what it was, but I knew it had to have something to do with the Wabash River. So I looked it up on the internet and found some very interesting information. And you all have a handout there that has the words to the songs, On the Banks of the Wabash, and it has the words to Back Home Again in Indiana, I believe. And then it has the Wabash Cannonball. Well, On the Banks of the Wabash, this was very interesting to me. It was one of the best-selling songs in the 19th century. In all of America. Isn't that, did anybody know that? And the man that wrote it was from Terre Haute, Indiana, and he wrote lots of music, and he wrote this song that just kind of in his mind took him back to the banks of the Wabash. And it is one of the earliest pieces of popular music to be recorded when they invented the photograph. You know, I think when they burned it on those round cylinders, it was one of the earliest songs to be put on one of those. Isn't that amazing? On the banks of the Wabash. So there's real history here. Well, now the Wabash Cannonball. That was fascinating reading. Apparently, it was a folk tale. It was just an American folk song about this imaginary train that was supposed to have the hobos sang about it. It was an imaginary ghost train that was to collect dead hobos and take them up to the beyond. And it became a very popular song, and because it was so popular, they actually decided to name the railroad train route from Detroit to St. Louis the Wabash Cannonball. So that's where that comes from. And there was an actual line that had Wabash and Cannonball written on it, and you're going to see that as it's pulling into the depot here. That really was a train, but the train did not come first. The song came first. And if you're internet junkie, you can look those up because it's very, very fascinating reading. So the mural is historical and it's folksy, and hopefully it will bring to all of you residents a sense of oh, this is where we live, and have something to talk about among yourselves and to remember the places that you know here, to share it with your family and friends who come. And I think that the mural is finished, we're done, but I think that the story is just beginning. And someone was talking about having a discussion time, talking about some of these memories that you have of these places. So hopefully it'll be a living mural, something that will continue to bring you much pleasure. And just a little sidelight, I put on I have an artist blog, and if you are techies, you can get into my blog. I can give you the address for that. And the whole progress of how we painted this is on there. Photos of every stage. Some of you are in some of those photos as you were coming and visiting with us. And you can look at that. Well, I sent that out to my friends. I'm a part of an art organization in Southern Illinois. And the president of the organization emailed me just a few days ago, and she sent out an email blast to our 100 members down there saying, this is what Jerry and Arvilla have done. Maybe we should find a senior residence in our area, and as a group of artists, go in and do something like this. So what we began here may continue on in another place. Who knows? You don't know. But I want to thank you so much for letting us do this, and it's been a privilege, and it's been wonderful to work with my mom. I've really enjoyed it. We've had a great time, and I'll look forward to getting to know some of you more, and we're just turning this over to you, and thank you for the opportunity to do it.
You guys are more than welcome to come up and take a closer look at the mural. There's also some